What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Got another video for you. This is the trailer hitch install for the 2018 Honda Pilot. This should work for 2016 to 2019 Honda Pilots. This Honda Pilot is a 2018 all-wheel drive base model Pilot. We ordered the factory Honda trailer hitch. It's $250, so it's really not that expensive for the genuine Honda part. This right here is the Honda Pilot hitch. It comes in a kit with the 6 bolts needed to hold it on, the hitch cover, it says Honda. The best part is that it comes with this new trim piece for the bumper cover, so it'll look just like factory. So that's why it'd be worth spending the extra $100 or so if that's the difference between the aftermarket and the Honda accessory. If you haven't seen it already, I have another video. We bought the OEM Honda trailer hitch wiring harness that I installed. I put that in a separate video in case you guys were doing this separately from each other, but I have that. I've already done that. As you can see, we have the wiring harness hanging down right here, which will get bolted up to the hitch once we have it on. So if you need to see that, I have another video. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this trim panel off, because we need that out of the way to put the new hitch on. All right, so we are under the car right now, looking at the back of the bumper. I will show this to you guys once I have it off and it'll be easier. But what we have is there's 2 screws on each side of it. There's these clips right here. And then up here, there are 2 10mm bolts. There's one there and there's one on the other side. These will be a lot easier to get to with a ratcheting wrench. As you can see, the same thing, clip and then a screw, and then the rest of it is just clipped in right here and that'll pop out. So it's not that big of a deal, but I will show you again once I get this off. Might be hard to see this in here because it's dark, so I got my flashlight, but I have the clips and the screws and all the bolts off of here right now. And then the trim panel you're removing is going to come towards you, towards the car, not away from the car. So if you pull it in like this, there are these tabs that you will have to push down like this, and that will allow the trim panel to move forward. And there's a couple of them all the way around here, just like that. And then that'll pop off. As you can see, this is off. So you have the 2 screws on each end. You had the clips right here. These are the clips right here. When they get sand and dirt in them, sometimes they are difficult to get out. The center of these pop up, but once they get dirt and sand in them, sometimes they are difficult. But if you wiggle them around, you will be able to get them out without breaking them. So those go right here. The 2 bolts went up there, which is a lot easier to get to with a ratcheting wrench. And then, like I just showed you, there's clips. If you push down, that piece slides towards the car, not away. So that's out of the way right now. All right, we have the new one right here. I'm gonna put this in first because I have a feeling that with the trailer hitch in there, this is not going to be able to fit in that good, or not at all. So I'm going to put this in. It's the opposite of how we came out, so you want to fit it behind and then pull it towards the back of the car so it clips in, and then you can put the bolts and everything back in it. You will need to, here's the 2 pieces. You will need to transfer these nuts onto here before you do this. These will just slide right out. So those slid right out, and then you will just slide those right back in. All right, so that was pretty painless. You can see screws in there, the clips in there, these bolts are in here. So that is all set to go. You look at the outside, you can see how much nicer that looks, all factory. With this piece, you have to cut the edges with a razor blade to pop that out for the wiring and slice the sides and the top. That piece will come right off. So now we're gonna put the trailer hitch up. These are 18mm bolts. There's 6 of them, 3 for each side. You want to get all of these started before you tighten anything up. It might be easier to have somebody help you put this in there. I am by myself, so I'm going to be able to do it by myself. But it might be helpful for some people to have somebody hold up one side while they start the bolts. All right, so I went to go put the hitch in, and I found out that these bolts, the holes are really rusty. As you know, I live in New England in Massachusetts, so things get pretty rusty, and I could not get these bolts going at all. So I had to take the hitch back out and then spend the last hour or so threading a bolt in and out, an extra one that I had that fit the same size, to get all the rust out. I had to do that to both sides. So you guys might have to do that also. I know that this was horrible. I got PB blaster everywhere, but all the threads should be good to go now, so it should be pretty easy to get it all bolted up. It would be a lot easier to drop the spare tire down, but I'm not going to. If you put the hitch up over the exhaust this way, you can then fit the receiver through here and get the other side up without dropping the spare tire. It would be easier. I just don't feel like doing it right now. So before you get the hitch all the way bolted up, you're gonna put the wiring in there. It goes this way, obviously, and you slide it up. There's a groove right here and here where it slides up into the bracket. And then this is the smaller 10mm bolt. This is the bolt with the shoulder on it. There's 2 different sizes. And then that way, when it's in there, it'll stick out just like that. So you want to do that before you put the hitch all the way in there. Like I said, you want to slide this up like that. You got the bolt without the shoulder, and the nut goes on behind. And then you have the bolt with the shoulder that goes into the bigger one. Same thing with the nut. All right, as you can see, I got all the bolts started. I got all 6 bolts just threaded in to start them. You do not want to tighten anyone up before you get all the other ones in, so they all line up. So that's up there. As you can see, this isn't obviously perfect because it's hanging down a little bit, but that's the way it's going to look when it's all done. All right, so now that is all on there. It is all done. Plugs right here, receivers right here. You gotta always put on your Honda cover so everybody knows that this is a Honda Pilot. So that is it. As you can tell, it's a nice clean factory look to it. That's why it's worth spending a little bit extra money and having this all done exactly like the factory. It actually took a lot longer because of the rust in the threaded holes for the trailer hitch itself. That took me a while to get that all cleared out so I could actually bolt it back up. But once that was done, it went in very easily, which, you know, a lot of people probably don't have to worry about the rust, but I did. So that is all done. As I said before, I did the wiring harness on a separate video. I will link that to you. I will link all the part numbers for both of them and everything. So if you want to do the wiring harness, if you're watching this video first, go to the wiring harness video. I did it with the panel right off so you guys can see exactly how it's done, where it's all plugged into. So if you haven't checked that out, check that one out. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.